Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, students. Colleagues, I wish to begin by thanking each of you who have participated in the summit the past 2 days. I've been very moved by the brutal honesty and generosity of our conversation leaders, presenters, and participants during the last 2 days. I commit ensuring that we take forward the issues raised in the summit as we consider the various dimensions of transforming our university. I wish to locate my response within the harsh realities of the world in which we live in. Let us remember that the majority of our students are from poor and rural backgrounds. We cannot and we dare not forget why we exist as a university, as an institution for the good of society. Let me assure you that our conscience talking of being a people's university is not sloganeering. It's a commitment. This is why as a university we take seriously the Social Progress Index, which was released yesterday during the United Nations General Assembly. We are not living on an island, colleagues. The gathering of the leaders of world governments remains seized by the Sustainable Development Goals and the problem those goals are meant to address. As a university, we should also bring the Sustainable Development Goals into our university and domesticate the 17 Sustainable Development Goals at TUT. In the report, it was noted that 795 million people woke up hungry this morning. 1.8 billion people globally drink contaminated water. Half of the pregnant women in developing regions aren't receiving adequate health care. Corruption, bribery, theft, and tax evasion in developing countries steal approximately $1.6 trillion away from programs that are supposed to benefit disadvantaged communities. And 1.2 billion people still don't have electricity. Shockingly, over 150 million of them live in urban areas. We should be outraged and scandalized as human beings, as citizens of society, university leaders, staff, and students, that we are far from making our country and our continent a place of dignity and meeting the needs of people. This should inform how we understand our task as a university. Perhaps in this regard, we should take counsel from what Professor Ahmed Bawa said yesterday, where he advised that we should define our role on the basis of balancing theory with practice in our teaching and research and community engagement. Together with our own communities, we must work together, resolve our national and local challenges. In other words, we should strive to become the custodian of the interests of the society where it exists. In the context of this, we should ask ourselves the question, how we as a university can salvage the declining state of leadership in our society. We must develop our own measures of our achievement as a university. I wish to make a few comments on specific issues. First, as I mentioned yesterday, the time for talking is over. The time for making slogans is over. We must convert talk into action. I want to see transformative progress across the university in 2018, and of course for the rest of this year. I've heard the number of concerns raised by students. We will work hard to enhance engagement with our students to resolve the many ongoing concerns. Second, that the whole TUT community should embrace transformation within TUT, but also in deep solidarity with higher education in South Africa and the broader South African community. We must be our own agents of change. We face the challenge of developing an institutional identity whilst we are on the road of transformation. Third, solidarity. That is the realization of our own common heritage as humans. It is one of the key ethical principles that should guide our thinking. Fourth, that our TUT community realize that transformation is our responsibility. And I'm saying it is our responsibility. It can't be the Vice-Chancellor's responsibility. Fourth, it is not about setting up groups within TUT against each other, for example, based on personal interests, gender, post-level qualifications, and so on, but rather to elevate the position beyond the differences and opinions. Fifth, we are to maintain scientific integrity and nurturing our knowledge creation, validation, and diffusion of responsibilities. Going forward, we need to focus on the continuum of knowledge, from solving basic problems to engaging with deeper global issues and beyond. The Senator of TUT is charged with the responsibility of safeguarding our academic project and ensuring the quality and excellence of learning, teaching, research, and innovation. 6, issues of sustainability and resilience is looming large. A week ago, our country's leading climate change expert, Professor Mary Scholes, concluded that South Africa is expected to get warmer and is going to warm at twice the global average. This early indicator of the impending ecological disaster demands that we, as TUT, increase our efforts in better analyzing our environment and providing reliable and trustworthy scholarly responses to the fast approaching crisis. 7th, we must seriously examine the future of work in the face of digitization, robotization, and artificial intelligence. This was also something that Professor Bawa referred to yesterday. Our own, or let me say TUT's, Institute for Economic Research and Innovation, in its role as chair of the Millennium Project of South Africa, is engaged in scenario work with both public and private sector role players. This forms a component of TUT's contribution to global thinking and the dealing between people and income generation. As a People's University, we will refocus and ensure that we contribute thought leadership based on our scientific and technological capabilities. Lastly, we must consider our role in society. We have many questions to answer, such as the values we should promote in society. In conclusion, as we comment and approve the transformation framework in November this year, I call on all our university environments to identify the specific transformation goals and actions to be taken in the next few years. It is my intention that we continue every year with similar engagement. It is important that we continue these conversations in all our environments. And as requested, we need to establish the various platforms to engage. This would not be an annual once-off event. I think it's imperative that all environments, once we approve the transformation framework in November, establish your own platforms in your environments, your campuses, and engage what we are to be. Let us work together to ensure that we hand over to the next generation hope and optimism through the quality of our graduates, our research, and engagements with our communities. I thank you.